Ram Madhavji, to explain why you believe the new India that your party is creating is an India that takes our country in the right direction. There are international reports that are coming out saying India is heading into a totalitarian direction. This is an India that is divided. Yours is a government where minorities are not being taken care of. In the light of all these charges, why is it that you're firmly of the view that India is going in the right direction? Ram Madhav.
Firstly, about idea of India. We believe that the idea of India is that there will be many ideas of India. And the only idea on which we all should agree is that we are all India, or we are all Indians. On that, there should not be any dispute. Otherwise, there will be many ideas of India. That should be the idea of India. Now, my idea of India is wrong, and your idea of India is right, or the vice versa, should not be the argument of anybody, neither me nor Mr. Tharoor's party. I have an idea of India which we want to build, since you mentioned about New India. For us, New India means a strong, united, prosperous, and secure India with dignity as a very important component. When I say dignity, dignity of the country at one level, but dignity of every individual, whether he is in India or outside. Take every individual Indian's dignity also to be respected and protected. There, yes, sometimes there will be issues, not on other issues. So you referred to some of these criticisms from abroad. You know, majority of the criticisms admit that India's political system is very vibrant, even including Freedom House report, I'm telling you. They say India's political system is very vibrant. There are many political parties. They are free to operate. They are free to criticize. They are good. India's electoral system is very good. They find some problem with respect to certain areas like, as you mentioned, minorities and civic rights. In that, I feel that there is a lot of exaggeration that happens from our side, resulting in certain perceptional issues. It's a perception. It's not enough for us as a government to dismiss them. You know, I see a tendency to dismiss them. Who are you to sermonize us? That's one tendency I see. That's not correct. It's important for us as a government and as a party to try and correct that perception, because that perception is wrong. I do not believe that if Freedom House mentions that Indian judiciary is biased, I'm sure even Mr. Shashi Tharoor will not agree. So we all have to be careful about how the perception is being created.
Okay.
That is where the problem is.
Dr. Tharoor, the BJP contests the charge of India becoming an elected autocracy, saying if we win fair and square. We win because we beat you, not because the idea of India is a wrong India or because we are taking India in the wrong direction. We are taking India in the right direction, which is why election after election, the people of India, the voters of India, vote for the Bharatiya Janata Party.
We'll come back to the elections in a second, but Ram has said a few things in response to you that I think the audience deserves to hear a counter view to. When Ram says that there are many ideas of India, yes, that's entirely fair. There are many Indias, there are many Indians, and everyone may have their own vision. But there is one core idea of India, which is the idea of India enshrined in the Constitution. What is that idea? Remember, our nationalist movement didn't split on Marxist versus capitalist. It wasn't ideology. Didn't split on region, north versus south. It split on one issue alone, and that is whether religion should be the determinant of nationhood. Those who said their religion determined their nationality, they created Pakistan, they left the country. But the remaining founding fathers and mothers, as it were, of our nationalist struggle, they said, no, we have fought for the freedom of everyone, and we must create a nation for everyone. And if you read the Constituent Assembly debates, which I would recommend strongly to Ram, it's about 3,000 pages. It's now available from the government. They're selling it in 4 volumes for about 3,000 rupees. It's really worthwhile. You'll find that these core issues were debated. Somebody actually stood up and said, now they've created Pakistan for the Muslims, why don't we call ourselves a state for the Hindus? And this was thrashed out and overwhelmingly rejected. Because the argument was that the essential core civilizational idea of India is one that embraces difference, that has embraced people of very many different backgrounds, languages, ethnicities, religions, and so on, and therefore they should all have equal rights. And the Constitution You can take out the word secular from the Constitution, as some friends on the other side want to do. It'll still be a secular Constitution. Because it says you have the right to freedom of expression, you have the freedom of worship, you have the freedom of religion, and the freedom to propagate religion. All this is enshrined in the Constitution and the fundamental rights of Indians. So, one word will not change anything. This is a core idea of India, that we are a pluralist society. I mean, I had an argument which in Mohan Bhagwat a couple of years ago. My incantation of the old unity in diversity slogan, I had about 30 years ago in America, and I've repeated it a few times since, argued that India is not a melting pot, but a thali. We're a collection of different dishes on the same platter. Each dish tastes different. So, and because it's in a separate bowl, it doesn't flow necessarily into the next bowl, but they combine together on that same platter and on your palate to give you a satisfying meal. So that is my idea, that diversity is integral to our unity. But Mr. Mohan Bhagwat says, no, it's diversity in unity. That is that we are a sort of khichdi. We are a saffron khichdi, nicely stirred together. There might be a piece of aloo here and a piece of gajar there, but essentially it is one unity in which an occasional amount of diversity can be tolerated. Now that fundamental difference goes to the heart of this question of the idea of India. So to my mind, when we celebrate India, we celebrate a country, for example, when the Pakistani generals in 71 were foolish enough to declare a jihad against the infidel. Who was confronting them? We had an army headed by a Parsi, General Manekshaw. The Air Force in the northern sector was headed by a Muslim, Air Marshal Latif, later Air Chief Marshal. The general officer commanding in Calcutta, whose troops marched into Bangladesh, was a Sikh, General Jagjit Singh Arora. And the major general helicoptered into Dhaka to negotiate the surrender of the Pakistanis was Jewish, Major General Jacob. Now that is India. I wrote about the incredibly moving experience of going to the island of Diu and seeing the memorial to INS Kukri, which was sunk by the Pakistanis in that war.